Welcome to the Barefaced Truth Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Devin.
And I'm Kissy.
And this is the podcast where Kissy Face Med Spa bears it all. Welcome to our very first episode. For the very first episode, let's get to know the woman behind the brand. So I have a list of questions. We're going to dive deeper into the beauty industry, the aesthetics industry, but we want to get to know more about Kissy and Kissy Face. So we're going to dive deep into your origin, how you came to be, how Kissy Face came to be.
I'm so excited. Let me tell my story.
Yes. So let's just start from the beginning.
Sure.
How did you first get exposed to the industry?
So kind of a long story, but I'll make a long story short. So I've been in the medical field since 1999. Picked up my family, was here locally, and moved to Tennessee. Was down there for about 8.5 years. Worked in the medical field down there, internal medicine, pediatrics. And I just happened to catch a little cancer and was doing all of my treatments here at the U of M. And I was driving back and forth from Tennessee to Michigan. So I thought, you know what, just in case things don't work out in my favor, I should probably just move back to Michigan because that's where my family was and my support was. So that's kind of how I landed back in this area. And so I was jobless and started looking, and that time I had no medical insurance and was going through cancer, and so I was like, I need a job that has health insurance. But I landed in a local dermatology office answering phones, and a few months in, I was like, what's going on behind closed doors? And they did aesthetics and had no idea what aesthetics was, and just started learning because I was answering phone and making and appointments, and was like, I think I'm interested in this. So I went to the doctor and said, hey, I think I'm interested in this. What do I need to do to kind of get into this field? Do I need to go to school? What do I do? And he literally took me under his wing and taught me everything I needed to know, put me through schooling. He put me through training, classes, got me certified, and I started to learn the aesthetic world. And when I started learning the aesthetic world, I fell in love with it. And I just ran with it. And it was just like, feed me, feed me, feed me. What can I learn? What can I learn? What can I learn? It was amazing. Our bodies are beautiful. And was with him for 8 years. I became his right-hand woman and trained all the new staff in there. But unfortunately, it wasn't a very positive environment. So, you know, when you're crying on your way to work and crying on your way home, it's kind of time to evaluate.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, when you kind of have to realize, like, something's got to give.
It was such a tug and pull for me because I loved what I did. And every single patient was my favorite patient. I wanted to ride out that outcome, you know, and to leave them just was heartbreaking, but I just couldn't mentally be in that environment anymore. They weren't watering me anymore.
Yeah.
So I was slowly just dying. And so I had to leave. So I left after about 8.5 years. So I kind of floundered around and put my application in Ann Arbor, and within a day I had a job. Went in very wide-eyed and didn't know a whole lot because she had a whole lot of lasers that I didn't have here at my last office. But I hit the ground running and learned very quickly that it was probably not a good place for me.
Multiple places that you ended up, you know, realizing like wasn't a good fit for you, like wasn't nurturing you where you should have been.
She had a lot and I learned a lot. Like there, she's like, do your own consultations. And I was like, oh my gosh, at my last place, the doctor did the consultations. They came to me and I just did what the doctor said.
Okay.
She's like, no, you sit down, you do the consultations, you do their treatment plan. And I was like, okay. But I kind of already knew that from doing aesthetics and lasers for 8 years, because there were some times at my last practice where they would come to me and I'm like, this isn't the right treatment for them. And then I
Okay.
would have to go state my case with the doctor, like why it wasn't the right case. And 99.9% of the time, he would let me change that, you know.
Okay. Yes.
So I kind of already had that without having it. I just didn't believe in myself.
Do you feel like that was a hard shift to go from like receiving almost, receiving
Like direction.
blindly,
Yeah.
to now having to take charge and
Like
do
figure it
your own.
out. And then you're like, am I gonna, these people are paying a lot, because no offense, like in the area that I was working, those prices were double and triple for treatments. And I'm telling someone they have to pay $1,500 or $5,000 for a treatment. And am
Mhm.
I putting them in the right treatment?
Right.
I
Yeah.
was shaking in my boots.
I never would have thought about that. Yeah, like that it all rides on like your decision, what you think is best
Yeah.
for them.
But I just pulled up my bootstraps
Yeah.
and kind of, at my first office, not that I ever want to talk anything negative, but I learned out of fear. You're going to do this or we're going to fire you. You better learn this or you're going to do this. And I was a single mom of 3 kids. I know what homelessness is. We lived in a hotel in a car. And so I knew like I needed to dig in deep. So I wasn't just learning at work. I was learning after work, on the weekends, watching videos, watching YouTube, how to do things, contacting laser companies and asking them for training manuals so I didn't harm somebody.
Mhm.
So I had that knowledge. I didn't have the confidence to put it in. And then here was somebody saying, do it.
Just take the reins,
And I'm
figure it
like,
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I did. You just do. No one's going to do it for you. And I never am the thing like I can't do it. I might say that out loud, like, oh, I can't do it, but I just do it. Like, to me, there's no other road.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
no other option. You just do it.
I resonate a lot with that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do it, who is? Is it going to
Yeah.
get done? If you don't do it, you have to just make it happen.
do it.
Do
You
your
just
magic.
Grin and bear it and just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was there with that place for about 11 and a half months. So I got very good health insurance.
Okay.
And I needed that with having that cancer diagnosis and treatments and medication and things
Mhm.
like that. And good pay, because I got commission.
Nice.
And the patients there loved me.
Well,
So-
and you did say like the treatments itself were more expensive,
Yeah.
than
Yeah, but I was very honest with those clientele. I'm just that honest person. And
Yeah.
if something isn't going to work or I don't believe in it, I'm not putting them in that. And so I became a favorite. I'm not going to say the favorite because we had some great workers there, but a
Yeah.
favorite with that clientele. And so I was always booked. My commission checks were bigger than my hourly paychecks. So it was doing great.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a tripping over my words. That's a testament, to how much you care and like we're taking it seriously,
But about 11 and a half months in, I was miserable. Again, here I find myself miserable. And I'm not somebody that job hunts. Like I stay a long time at jobs, 8 years, 10 years, that type of thing. And so driving on the way to work, I wasn't allowed to educate clients there.
Okay, like it was a sales mindset there.
Yeah.
Like how can we get them in the door? But once we've got them in the door, what can
Don't
we
sell them
offer
this,
them?
sell them that. Don't sell them the $300 treatment, sell them the $5,000 treatment.
Okay, yeah.
And even though I was commission based,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not somebody who's going to do that. But I became very popular with my clientele.
Probably because of that.
Because I was so honest that I was always full. I remember it was 11 and a half months in, so I wasn't even there a year. And I was driving into work, and I just remember looking up and just thinking, it gives me goosebumps. I'm miserable. I make great money and my health care is superb,
Mhm.
but I'm miserable. I don't know what to do because I really need the money and I really
Right.
need the health care.
Right.
But I'm just like, I always said I was the flower in the window that didn't get watered, and you said, I hate you every day. I was just, defeated,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do, so I'm turning it over to you. And I remember getting out of my car. If I had hair on my arms, because it's all lasered off, but that's another story. But and I went and did my job. And on the way home, a local med spa called me out of the blue and said, "Hey, we hear the girl. You're the girl we need. We have a office and we have satellite offices. We have lasers. We've never turned them on. We don't know what to do with them. We hear you're the girl that can come in and build a laser side for our business."
Okay.
And I went, "Can I?"
So you haven't done that before? You hadn't done that before?
No. No, I'm like, okay, I just learned how to do consultations 11 months ago.
Right,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I've trained people, like when I was at my first thing, and I did treatments and things like that. But no, it was a lot less money
Okay.
and no health insurance.
Oh, so major change. And you were tasked with creating the entire laser program.
Thing. But and I just said, I asked for it, right? I looked up and said, "Show me what to do." And at the end of the day, on the drive home, the call came in.
Whoa. Okay, yeah.
So in my mind, I can't say no.
Right, that's a blatant.
I asked
Whatever.
for it, and he said, "Hello, here you go."
Yep, silver platter.
So I said, "Let's do it." I had no idea what to do. But I asked for it, right?
But you were going to make it happen.
But I was going to make it happen.
Yeah.
So I jumped aboard with this company, and I figured it out. I created protocols, I created treatment sheets, and I went to work and started building this laser side. The laser reps that sell lasers were amazing. I'd be calling them going, "I don't know what to do. What do I do?" And they'd be like, "Kissy, we remember you from this first place," and blah, blah. And they were great navigators and can find a lot of things on Google. So.
Yeah. Well, and like you said earlier, YouTube, YouTube University.
I was taking calls at midnight, like Zoom calls, like it was crazy. And I started this laser side of the business for this med spa and just got that up and running. Got it good, and COVID hit.
Seems like a common factor in a lot of stories lately. Granted, we all lived through it, so we know, to just put a pin in everything. So, I work in what was labeled an essential industry. So, I was living like normal, basically, at my job. How did that affect your industry?
Well, we were shut down by the state and told to go home. So it was the first time my whole entire life I lived by myself. All my little babies were out of the house. I had just rented a little apartment. I had no job. I had no income. The world was on fire,
right.
Literally. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. But it was the first time in my whole entire life that I got to pause.
Okay, and kind of take a breath. And...
I had no children to take care of. I had no job to be responsible for. I could eat popcorn and drink wine and do research.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Like, it was almost like the first time you had time for things?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like, could I open my own med spa? What are the rules? Is it feasible? How do you do it? I don't know. Let's pop some popcorn and drink some wine and let's do some research.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started.
Wow. I mean, I guess it's just natural to talk about what happens next,
I just started doing research. Like, what is Michigan laws? How do you do it? Do I need a med director? How do I find a med director? And literally just started opening avenues and doors. Every day, that's all I did is work on things like that. So I would, go to bed bawling, literally sobbing my eyes out because I'm like, it's never going to happen. I'm stupid for thinking about this. And the next day a text would come through and the next door would open and there's an avenue. I'm like, oh, maybe I can.
Yeah.
Maybe I can. And I again, like goosebumps every time I talk about this story because it was so just guided. My whole journey was guided.
And I mean, even so far, that's what it's seeming like. It's seeming like it's,
It was just
divine
everything
intervention.
yes, it was. I always say that. Always say that. And, by the time COVID lifted, I had rented a room at a local hair salon. I had a med director and I had a name. Thank you, Kim. I had a name and one laser. And I said, let's see what happens.
Yeah, laser in a dream.
Right?
I
I had no idea what I was doing. You should have seen me trying to be on the state website, trying to get an LLC. Like, I don't know. I did it. Don't ask me how, but I did it. So, like, each little thing was like, woohoo,
Yeah, just a lot of small victories. Yeah, because, I mean, granted, I don't know much about the aesthetics industry. That's why we're doing this.
I know.
But, as someone from an outside, I know nothing about the inner workings, but I bet you were kind of feeling the same way, like working in the industry, but not running a business per se. So, like, I'm sure it's a completely different world, working on, the front lines of the aesthetic industry, and then now kind of learning to put on so many hats and kind of, you are the engine, you're becoming the engine behind the entire operation.
I don't even know, like some days, like, and that's like the story to come, but I just like, I literally grew, we moved in 3 spaces in 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Because I grew so quickly. I thought I was just going to be me and that little laser. I can still see that picture in my head of me with my laser and my little head. Like, I was so proud. And not that I'm not proud. I was so proud of myself. I didn't have anyone on my schedule that first day, but I was in that salon with my door open with my laser and I was ready.
You were ready.
I was ready. And in 4 months, I outgrew my space. So
Wow.
4 months I had to move, was using my cell phone. So everyone was blowing up and I'm like, I can't do treatments and have a cell phone. So like I found a little 800 square foot office, hired my first employee and said, answer my cell phone for me. I didn't even have, like, we were forced to build. Like, I was forced to grow.
Due to the demand
You
were getting.
And I look back at that first day of not having one person. And that first week, I think I saw one person.
Okay.
That first week. And I'm like, I'm never going to do it. This is where I'm going to be the rest of my life. But I was okay with that. In this little room with my little laser for the rest of my life. Yeah. Like, that just made me happy, and here we are 5 years, and we can talk about that journey as we are, but with employees and over close to 900 clients.
Wow. In just 5 years.
In 5 years.
In the small community that we live in.
Yeah.
Is very impressive.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I can't believe I said that out loud.
Yeah,
like, seriously, like, when you say that, like, we just did a photo of Kissy Face turning 5 years, and it's me and my staff. And when I saw that picture, I was like, holy cow, I'm like a big girl now. Like, I have a big girl office. And I know it sounds funny, but it, like, put it in perspective to me. Yeah. I have 6 staff members who count on me to pay their bills and put food on the table, and whew, that makes me sweaty.
Yeah. I never really would have thought about it like that either, but yeah. Like, and all of this is yours. I think that's the most impressive thing is, you have built this Kissy Face, I'm going to say an empire, Yeah.
And I don't look at, like, I still think of, like, Kissy Face as me, but Kissy Face is an entity of itself. Yeah. And I'm just learning to navigate as I go because I didn't know how to be a boss. That's, I think, the hardest part. I don't know. There's so many different personalities, and I'm making everybody happy. And my worst fear is I was so miserable at some of my places, like crying on the way to work and crying on the way home.
Hmm.
I don't want any of my employees ever to feel that. Like it's okay to be upset with a situation that happens, and oh my gosh, I'm stressed because we're busy or new things that are happening in the office is natural.
Exactly.
But to be miserable, crying because you don't want to go to work, like, so I strive very hard. And I think that's always in the back of my mind. Am I doing enough for my staff? Am I the best boss? Am I? And I'm always trying to navigate that type of thing on top of still having full patient schedules and things like that. So, yeah, these days I wear like 55,000 hats.
A lot of hats.
A lot of hats. So, yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of like Kissy Face in a nutshell and how she was born, And yes, I refer to her as she. She is my sidekick. She's my best friend because you fight with your best friend and you hate your best friend sometimes, and then you love each other and support each other. And that's how I feel like Kissy Face is.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds funny, but she gives me stress, but she makes me happy all at the same time. So it is quite the journey.
And only 5 years. So, it's, imagine 5 years from now.
I know. And like, we're currently like, I remember walking into the space we're in, and I'm like, because we came from 800 square feet, and now we're in like 1,300 square feet.
Okay.
And so I'm like, oh my gosh, how are we ever going to fill these rooms? And now we're looking for a bigger spot. So if anyone knows anything out there, I'm looking for a bigger. I got plans.
I love it. I
got
love
plans.
it.
So that's just, yeah.
So going back to Kissy Face Med Spa, I know a lot of people, myself included, really would love to know what exactly is the difference between a traditional spa and a med spa.
It's so hard to describe that, and I always that's the hardest question to answer for me.
Okay.
To make people understand the easiest way. But the easiest way I can say that is I have a doctor and he's our med director. And so he oversees the treatments that we're doing. So I don't have to go to him and get permission to pay this bill or pay that. So he doesn't tell me what I can and can't do. But when I started my business, I sat down with him and we went over all the treatments. And he went over all the consent forms legally and all of that. And he approved everything. So he knows what we're doing in office. So the difference in that is the stuff we do in office with lasers is we can actually correct somebody's problem. So if somebody comes in and they have sunspots, brown spots on there, I have treatments or lasers that can actually take those away. Okay. So we have skincare that doesn't just make you feel nice and smell good. Mm-hmm. We have skincare that actually goes to the level to fix. So that's the thing. The things that we're doing here in the office, we can actually correct your skin concerns, but we also have the love and fluff of the facials and feel good nice. So we have the best of both worlds here.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, so, someone with actual, skin problems and, diagnoses and things like that, can benefit from a med spa because it's,
yeah, and it depends what the diagnosis is. A lot of times, in consultations, it'll be I can't address that. That's a dermatologist or something like that. But yeah, so there's a fine line of things that we can and can't do. Mm-hmm. So, but that's what consultations are for.
Okay. I didn't know there were so many different lanes in the aesthetic
industry.
There's
so many lanes in it. It's you just open just a box and everything just comes out, it's your birthday and it's just oh, I don't know. It's crazy. It's fun. It's confusing, Yeah. I was going to say something, but I think that question's coming later. So
That's okay. So we took a dive into your past as Kissy, so we know where Kissy came from. Let's talk more about the Kissy Face journey itself. So, we kind of stopped at kind of the birth of Kissy Face. I think you mentioned that Kim gave you the name for it. What is that story?
Oh my gosh. So, Kim worked at, she was an amazing receptionist that worked at the second place where I was like, I don't know what to do. And
Mhm.
the phone call came in. So she was always very kind to me. And so during the COVID, I don't even know how it came about, but I remember getting a text message or something from her and like, what are you up to? What are you doing?
Mhm.
And I said, I think I'm going to try to start my own business, but I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of kicking the idea around. And we just kind of did a back and forth. And the next day she's like, you should name your business Kissy Face.
And it's the most perfect thing I've ever heard.
So everyone's walking around with Kissy's face. Like I work on your face. Like I do like the whole body, but mainly it's faces. And it was perfect. I am so ever in debt to Kim. Ever, but that's how Kissy Face got its name because I had no idea what to name it.
Right. And then another one of those things I think where it's like divine intervention.
I
It just
think so
fell into your
too.
lap
I
almost
think
of,
so too. That's how the name started.
it's amazing. I love that. It's again, I think it's perfect.
Kim
And
will always have free treatments, so she knows that. She just needs to come get them. Come get them, girl. Like for real.
take
like...
advantage of it. Alrighty. So, looking back to your, very early days of Kissy Face, what was the first service or treatment that you offered your very first client?
Laser hair removal.
Amazing.
Laser hair. People don't know that you can, I don't want to say get rid of it because when I do consultations, I don't say laser hair removal. I say razor. I say laser hair reducer. Can we get it so it's not growing? Absolutely. Can we get it so it's growing slowly? Absolutely. But hormones change in our body. You can sprout a little growth. So I never want to say it's permanent.
Okay, because you can't guarantee that you can get rid of it.
Yeah,
completely.
like my journey, I did treatments. I didn't shave for a year.
Oh, wow.
On my legs. And then hormones because, those are fun. Sprouted a little growth, nothing major. And then I did a treatment and then I didn't shave for 4 years. So we can make it not grow, but I don't want to say it's permanent because it will eventually, with hormones and things like that, will grow. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know.
Laser hair removal. Oh,
that's amazing because I was maybe imagining like facials or something, because I feel
I
like
didn't even have facials in the beginning.
Like, you were laser centric.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's my go-to.
Yeah, I feel like that's your expertise.
Everywhere I worked, we didn't do facials.
Okay.
We did like aqua facial or well, that's what I call it here, like with a machine. So I had that eventually, but we never did the love and rub things. Like I brought that when I hired in estheticians. I brought that to my spa. I never even looked at like opening like a spa. It was a med spa. Okay. Period. Yeah. I love lasers. I'm a laser girl at heart. Oh, give me some facials. I'll give you some nice love and rub. Like, throw them away. Yeah. But give me a laser. Oh, yeah.
That's when you're in your element.
I'm in my element. I love that, to follow those journeys. And at the end, like, I always say, like, my patients, like, with laser hair removal, they graduate. Like, I want to throw them a party. Like, seriously. Like, we've done it, It sucks I'm not going to see them, for a year or 6 months or however it is until hair starts to grow back. But I literally feel like they should have a cap and gown and a certificate because they've graduated.
You honestly should.
I feel like it. Like, this one girl, like, we've been working a lot. Like, we're having a pizza party. I promise you, the day she does her last treatment, we are ordering pizza.
I love it. I love it. So with lasers too, do you think that maybe part of the reason you like it, and I feel like you already did touch on this in your last answer, do you think it's because a lot of lasers are like series of appointments, like you get to see the growth and the change and you build that rapport with the people, do you think?
And I think that's where people don't know, because the spa side of the business is that too. Like people don't realize that you should be coming every 4 weeks to have facials, or they have their lashes done every 6 to 8 weeks. So it's not usually a one and done. Yeah, you get patients in that are a one and done and you don't see them again, or they're hopping around to different things because they're looking for the best price or whatever. But literally in this, at least here in my office, most people are just repetitive. So you build those long-lasting clientele. Some of my clientele have been with me since the very beginning.
Oh wow! Back at the other offices
where I
days,
first
where
started.
you worked for someone.
Yeah.
Wow.
They've just kind of followed my journey, and I am so grateful.
Amazing.
There's a lot, actually, not just a few. A lot.
That's
So when I
amazing.
left that first practice, I had about close to 50 patients follow me.
Oh wow.
This is my safe run. I love this industry. I love it. I could talk about it all day. I talk about it so much my husband can do consultations. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he knows his stuff, you know, because I just eat it and breathe it and live it, and it's just embedded in me.
Yeah.
And like, every client is my favorite client. Like, I can't wait for that journey. Their wins are my wins. Their losses are my losses. Like, I'm seriously, like, it's just, I am just have been so blessed on this journey.
And I love that. And I think that's what sets you apart.
Maybe.
You know?
I don't know. I don't feel like when people are like, what sets you apart? I don't know. I'm just doing what I love to do. I'm just in my element. I just wanted to create a place that everybody felt safe being them, talking about what concerns they had. When I looked in the mirror and I didn't like what I seen, or I don't like my body shape or whatever, you're very vulnerable. And I wanted a place that people could be open and honest and not judged. And so that was number one, a safe place. And number two, well educated. And if that's all they get out of coming here and they don't spend a dime here, I'm okay with that. And I'm honestly okay with that. And third, I wanted a place that people could afford.
Yeah.
And I had to figure out how to do that.
And I feel like that's difficult.
I don't have, so in choosing, I was very lucky in my journey. My first place where I learned aesthetics and the second place I went, those doctors collected lasers.
Okay.
So as an employee, you're like, oh my God, I have to learn this laser. Oh my God, I have to learn. So it was very like, oh my gosh. But looking back in hindsight, I got my hands on a lot of lasers. First, I got a lot of training.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot of different lasers. But I got to see what worked and didn't work.
Okay. Yeah.
So I knew coming to my own, I only was bringing in stuff that I seen results.
And I think that's important too. You know, every place and every, role that you had been in before kind of built you up, like gave you more and more foundation into being able to do that, and I think that deserves a lot of respect.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, people are like, you should pat yourself on the back. And I'm like, I'm just doing what I'm doing. For me, everybody works very hard for their money. And times like this is tight. And groceries are expensive and everything, and you're cutting things out. So I always tell my new staff when they come in, we're not like a doctor. We're a med office, but we're not like the doctors. They don't have to come here. They're not paying with their insurance card or whatever.
Yeah.
They are choosing to come here and spend their hard-earned money here. So no matter what I do, I am going to give them top-notch treatment. I may not always get it right, and in treatment plans, skin may be like, no, thank you. I'm not going to respond the right way, and we might have to back out and go in something else. It's rare that happens.
But I'm sure it does.
But I'm human, and sometimes I don't pick the right one.
Yeah.
But my education, I don't have anything to say about anywhere I worked. I am thankful for every journey I've had, because that first one, that education and those certificates,
Right. That
I wouldn't be here without that. I wouldn't be here without that. So I'm never going to be like, shame on them, shame on them, shame on them.
Right.
I'm thankful for that journey to put me here. But I never, like, what I noticed at those places, nobody never knew what they were doing, why they were doing it, how much they were spending. And I was like, what? You know, like
everyone meaning like the clients,
the clients,
the patients. Okay.
They were laying in the bed and going, like, as I'm working on, now what does this do? Whoa.
That's kind of scary.
Hello. How do you know I'm doing a good job? How do you know I'm not cheating you? What are you paying for?
Right.
No. So I would pull them up off the bed and just talk about that. It was just natural for me.
Yeah.
You know, I come from counting pennies, you know what I mean? Being homeless, like not having a place to live, like every dime mattered. And I'm like, this patient just spent $800 and she don't know what to do.
Right. Yeah, she doesn't know how it's going to affect and like what it was. That is insane to me, you know. I can't imagine doing that.
So education is high here. I pride myself on education, but like that is the number one. Good service. Everyone's pampered. Everybody is our favorite because they're choosing to spend their money here. So I'm going to give them 110% of me.
Yeah.
And that's all I expect out of my staff. You know, your 110% is different than my 110%, but I want you to do your 110%. My patients deserve that.
Yeah. I like that you're an advocate for your patients.
Thank you.
You know,
they're choosing me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's important, you know, in being just a good person, you know, of just, you know, caring about other people. Like that's one of those things where it's like, you know, I hate to talk about the state of the world, but, you know, it's getting rarer and rarer. So it's, you know, in an industry and like in a world that's very, you know, profit driven, like I think it's just really respectable.
It's hard. It's hard because I still have bills and I still have staff and I still, like, that's the hard part. And everyone's like, raise your prices. You have to 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 raise your prices. Like, that's all I hear all the time. And that's a hard thing to do for me. Like, if I could give it away, I'd give it away. Like, literally, I would. Like, seriously. Like, I just love what I do. And to see everyone benefit, I wholeheartedly believe in what I do.
I am going to end on one final question for you.
Oh, no.
We've talked about, you know, the highs and lows of, you know, the industry and being a small business owner, you know, the ins and outs of everything. I really just want to end on a positive note.
Okay.
What part of your job do you just enjoy the most?
I have to pick just one. I think the biggest one is my clientele, my patients. I call them patients. We're a med spa. I call them patients. Some people call them clientele. So you'll hear me say that back and forth. It's the same thing.
Okay.
They've always been patients. That's how I learned this industry. I came from a med background, you know, so I call them patients. So you'll hear clientele and patient, but they're my patients. That's the most rewarding. You know, people think like people come in and they're wearing furs and what, you know, and they're throwing money around, and it's not that. You know, you might get one of those every now and then. Like, that's rare. If you're out there, please come in and throw your money around.
Right.
Like, really? Like,
if you've got the money to throw around.
it's everyday people with a concern.
No.
People come in and they're like, you know, I hate this sunspot. And they're like, it might not seem a lot, but to them, that's their problem. And I always say, don't discredit that. If that's what bothers you, that's what we'll focus on. Your little, you know, sunspot is no less than somebody who has facial hair.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not about like just vain. You know, some people want to have glowy skin and the love and rub and things like that. Yeah, come, you know, and great eyebrows and, you know, things like that, and lashes that curl up, you know, and things like that. But a lot of times it's a problem that bothers them. And it's like to my core. Like, I looked in the mirror and still do and pick myself apart. you know? So
Sure.
I understand. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like that when I smile, I have lines, or I don't like these, you know?
Yeah.
And it's able to work with people and help fix that. Like I get to follow that journey for them. It's so rewarding.
Yeah, I feel like that's special to be able to, see every time they come in, like how much it's
I
changed
can't
since
wait,
then.
you know, because a lot of treatments are like every 4 to 6 weeks, you know,
Okay. Yeah.
and so you build that, and like I'm like, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to put them in cameras and look, are we improved? Or ask them, how's the hair growing? Is it growing slower? Is it thinner? You know, are you shaving less? You know, whatever we're working on.
Yeah.
A tattoo removal, you know, whatever, you know, we're doing. Like I literally can't wait, you know, and in the anti-aging world, you know, they come, you know, however many times we have them come every 4 weeks, you build that, and then they go into maintenance, and then they're coming further apart.
Mm-hmm.
I literally want to call them and be like, hey girl, how's it going? You
Yeah,
know,
just checking
what's
in on the
up?
results.
Got any questions? Send me your face. Like, I won't bug you, but I literally want to do that. Like, I
Yeah.
walk this journey with them. Like, I think that's my favorite part is the connections, and I learn something from everybody.
Yeah.
You spend like hours, like they're laying in your bed for an hour, you know. Sometimes I'm a therapist, sometimes they're my therapist, you know. Sometimes we're laughing. I learn something new from every single person. It's amazing. So I think that's the best thing.
Yeah.
And I say this lightly because it will never happen. You know, the alarm goes off in the morning and I'm like, I quit.
I feel like we
quit.
We all can relate to that a little bit.
Like I didn't sign up for all of this. Like I quit. Every day I quit. And then I'm like, your boss she's not a nice girl. She's going to tell you to get your butt to work. And I get up, and then the minute I open or pull up to the office, or I open the door and walk through this room, I did this. Like
Yeah.
I could cry. Like I did this.
Yeah, this is all a result of everything
I don't know how I
done.
got here.
But
so
you made it
quickly, like, wow, we grew so quickly in 5 years. Like I said, we're already too small and we're looking for a new space. Like, I have so many ideas. My husband's like, whoa, girl, chill out. I cannot remember, like, do another room, do another move, like, please stay. But he agrees, like, this space is too small for us. We're just busting at the seams, you know? Like, my staff can't all be here at one time. Like, we're working in part-times and all kinds and rotating. I don't have enough room. It would be lovely to have a space that everybody could be all day long. Just like,
soon enough. I feel like just this entire journey is just littered with divine intervention. So
I feel like that too.
I feel like all you got to do is ask.
I do, but sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I ask for too much.
Okay,
Can I like mentally handle this? You know?
Yeah.
You know, this year has really been a learning. This last year, 2025, has really been a learn. You know, I had to learn to be a boss. I didn't know how to be a boss. I knew how to be an employee.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to be a boss. So I worked with a leadership coach.
Okay.
I'm working with a consultant how to run my business. You know, I'm learning to give myself grace. That's this year. This 2026 is learning to give myself grace.
Okay.
It's okay if I don't know an answer. It's okay if I didn't get to this. It's okay if I didn't finish this. Like, it's okay to take a day off.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to leave early. It's okay to go have my nails done. You know, like, it's okay. You know, I'm still worried in the back of my mind, but I'm learning. Like,
right.
So,
like, you know, learning that it's okay to separate you from the business.
Yeah. I think the hardest part really about running, like, it's easy to treat the patients. That comes naturally to me. I don't know. It's in my bones. Like, somebody walks in and I already am like, so this is kind of weird, but have you ever saw The Good Doctor?
No,
and
but
he has autism, and like when he's like has a problem, he can like kind of see it all. Like,
okay, yeah.
I kind of like scan, and I know immediately as because I greet every single client, like patient that I come out like, hey, how are you? I'm Kissy. I take them back to a room. I think that's super important than to have them in a room, you know?
Yeah.
And so I already am like, I already have a treatment plan, but I got to learn not to say anything because maybe they're not here for that sunspot. Maybe they're here for laser hair removal, you know?
Right.
But that comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
Talking about aesthetics is so natural to me. You know, every time, this is what I hear all the time. Thank you for the education. Thank you for the education. I didn't get that anywhere else. Thank you for the education. Thank you for the education. And I pride myself on that.
Yeah.
I want my patients to be so well educated in knowing what they're putting their money into. The hard part is running the business and managing staff on top of I still see patients full time.
Yeah.
So I'm full from 9 a.m. to 5 or 9 to 7 or whatever I'm working, and I work Saturdays and still run a business.
Yeah, that's going back to you wear so many hats.
Some days I have my hats mixed up and I have no idea, and I go home with 85 hats still on, and I don't, you know, I forget to take them off, and I'm really trying to work in, like, when I leave this here, like, I wear my wife hat or I wear my mom hat or the grandma hat or whatever I'm doing, and that's a hard part for me because I'm still in business mode all the time. Last night, I shouldn't say last night, was what, Saturday was yesterday? I don't even know what day it is. So yeah, Saturday. But anyways, we have a new EMR system that we're doing, and it's going to be lovely. We're working on it. You know, new things. It's always like, I'm not the favorite person with my staff right now, and that's okay. They're going to love me in a couple of months. But I had to do over, I think it was 61 treatment charts, consents. Like, I had to create those. I literally sat at the computer from 7 a.m. until 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
just doing that.
I mean, I took a potty break, and my husband brought me Sonic and some chicken from Sonic. Like, I didn't even know he went to bed. Next thing I know, it's like 1:30 in the morning.
Wow.
But I got to stop doing that.
Yeah, learning that, like you said, you know, it's okay to step away. It's okay to take a break. I think, just...
There's no turn off.
I think, I'm someone that works, full time, 40 hours, whatever. But for somebody, for a company. So, like, and I feel like even I struggle with turning it off or leaving it at work. So I'm sure it's a different struggle owning the business and, being the business and living it, but still having, that trying to find that discernment between, this is work time, this is lifetime.
I think that's where, like, my husband and I do, like, if we're not going to get along, like, that's where we don't get along. Like, he goes to work, he clocks in, he does his job, he clocks out, he goes home, he's done.
Okay.
He doesn't have to think about it until
he clocks back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go home and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't call this person back? Did I do payroll? Did I do this? Staff members texting me at 10 o'clock at night, hey, I need the day off. I forgot to put, oh my gosh, I didn't contact the lawn company to see if they can, you know what I mean? Like, I just never shut off. The hardest part is being a boss.
Okay. Yeah. And I think too, like, within Boss, I know you said that you were working on leadership. I think there's also the word boss is so nuanced too, where it's like, you're a boss, but also a leader and a coach and a teacher, and they all of those, and a mentor, all of those mean different things.
And I'm on full schedule and trying to run a business. And what if this happens and this happens, or the toilet overflows, and you know what I mean? And I'm coming out and they're like, Kissy, the toilet overflowed, or Kissy, the lawn guy needs you to sign this, or the website guy says, why haven't you signed this contract yet? And you're like looking at a full schedule of patients.
Right. You've been giving treatments all day. So
yeah, I'm still in the trenches of doing treatments. Yeah, I don't know if I can let that go. Everyone's like, do less, do less, do less, do less, in that side of the business. That's my heart. Yeah. So I did agree to take half days on Thursday. So awesome. This last Thursday was my first half day, and I was still here till almost to the end of the night. I'll learn to be better.
Yep, every Thursday we'll get better.
I'm hoping. I told my son, I get out early. We're going to have dinner.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got home later than normal on a normal busy day. I'll work on that.
Yeah. And I think, it's obviously every day is a new opportunity to learn. Like, you get better every day. You get better with every client. You get
I would
better
hope
with every
so.
situation.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think I have any other.
I have no more information.
Yep, I don't have anything to pick your brain with. This has been a lovely conversation.
Thank you.
How do I want to end it? Yeah, I think that's it. I think that wraps everything up. I want to thank you guys for watching and for listening. Be prepared for lots of stuff in the future. This is really just the beginning of everything. We're just scratching the surface.
Is a whole lot. One episode.
Yeah,
like,
right.
watch out.
So
grab your popcorn and your wine.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think every episode is gonna dive a little bit deeper. Get further down the iceberg of Kissy Face Med Spa.
And I think we're gonna talk about individual treatments and
Yes.
things like that. So we're just gonna dive in deeper, debunk things. Should I be putting this on my skin? No.
Yeah.
Over the counter things and things like that, fads and trends and things like that. So that's kind of what this is all about. So stay tuned for more of the Barefaced Truth.